Let's take a look at what I did on my 2024 Seattle trip. For some reason, I thought it would be a good idea to drive from Sacramento to Seattle instead of flying. I thought it would be more adventurous, with the kids and all. But in reality, all that happened was I drove for 12 hours one way while they played on their phones and slept. I should be living in Seattle instead of California right now, but it just didn't work out. We tried to buy a house, and every time we put an offer in, our realtor told us that someone from China would come in with an all-cash offer and just buy it outright. I can't compete with that. We lived in Bellevue, which is a really expensive place to live. If you make less than $150,000 a year, you're poor. It just was never going to work. So the first thing I did when I woke up the next morning is I went to Kurt Cobain's house. When I used to live there, I'd make any excuse to drive by his house and get out and just say hi. I 100% loved every Nirvana song I ever heard, and I know I would have loved every song he would have made. I still have bootleg songs that haven't even been released publicly yet. His house is right by Lake Washington, which is a beautiful area. I'm actually curious if anyone watching this has been to Seattle and visited Kurt's house. Let me know. There it is. He actually ended his life above his garage, and I believe Courtney had that torn down. His body was discovered on April 8th, 1994. And if you're going to visit his house, you might as well go to the little park right next to it. I read somewhere that someone burned the benches, and I'm not sure if these are new or maybe they just didn't burn them. I don't know. But people bring gifts for him, so you can see. They write notes to him. It's pretty cool. I always forget to bring a guitar pick or a Sharpie. Oh well, maybe next time. There's also another bench that doesn't get as much love. As I was walking up to the side of his house, I noticed there was a tent in there. This is just more space for people to write down how much they loved Kurt. And I know I'm not the only person who's ever done this, so I didn't feel guilty in the least. Just trying to get a closer look. Come on. Thanks, Kurt. Your music's meant a lot to me. Next, I took the kiddos downtown Seattle to the Seattle Great Wheel. They've been excited about that for a while. And you know what? Since I left Seattle 4 years ago, they've really cleaned up their homeless problem. I was actually impressed. I saw maybe one or two homeless people, and before, I used to have to step over people when I was making deliveries in downtown Seattle. I've been on this before. It's cool. Some killer views from this thing. Check it out. I wasn't really worried about the price of admission. What really bothered me was the parking fees. Ouch. And one last look before we move on. And of course, you've got to go to the Pike Place Market if you're in this area. There was no throwing of the fish while we were there. Darn it. Thought we missed you. I went to the gum wall and I actually planned to lick like 5 feet of it, but they power washed it like 2 weeks ago. So they had to start over and there just wasn't a lot of gum. So there's some cool artwork as I was walking out. Where's Art the Clown? Where's Art the Clown? There he is. I spent $8 to buy French fries to feed the seagulls, and the kids enjoyed that more than almost anything on the whole trip. So if you want to save some money, just go buy some French fries and go feed the seagulls. Next we went to Bruce Lee's grave and Brandon Lee's grave, who's right next to him. Obviously, Bruce is a legend. I was just watching The Crow right before I made this video. Someone left that dollar there, and my daughter said she saw someone steal it. Talk about bad karma. You don't take gifts from Bruce and Brandon. Come on. What's wrong with these people? Now I have another question for you. Have you ever been up the Space Needle? This is what it looks like right when you walk in, when you're going to the elevator. I am not a fan of heights, but I had to do it. The kids had never been up here, so now they can say they've done it. It's raining in Seattle, go figure. But it was stunning. Then we went downstairs to the revolving glass floor. I knew that wasn't going to be fun, but had to do it. Pan down, thank you. Oh man, that really freaked me out. I'm such a negative person. I was thinking to myself, what if there's an earthquake right now? This isn't even the scariest thing I've ever done with heights. I went to the Stratosphere in Vegas, and there's a ride at the top that shoots you up and down at, at interval speeds. That was scary. Okay, 25 minutes was enough. Time to go back down. The next day we hopped over to Renton to say hi to Jimi Hendrix. I actually lived in Renton for about 6 months, and we were 2 blocks away from this. So I used to come here all the time. But you gotta love Jimi. Well, that's going to wrap up this video. Hopefully at least one person watched it all the way to the end. If you did, fist bump. I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.